What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today when I talk to you about Healthy Choices Wellness Corp, go over some of the data points, when the best opportunity would be to buy, and then aside from that, what's been coming out from the company itself. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Currently, it is up 1.09%. A lot of volatility though today. So 215 the high, 202 the low, but very, very little volume. And as it stands, shorts have been really kind of doing their thing, making up for about anywhere from about 50 to 30% of the daily volume. So shorts kind of are using HCWC as a puppet to whatever they kind of see fit. And can you blame them? A couple of people in my last comments or in my last video asked, why should someone buy HCWC? And to be fully fair, I don't have an answer for that, unless you just you like their movement and whatever else, but it's not a profitable business as it stands. It is making improvements, but by no means is it profitable. And as I mentioned, roughly even 3-4 months ago, the S1s were indicating that there was going to be the 70 to 80% pullback from the IPO price. So management was anticipating for it to kind of hit these levels. So it is unfortunate. There hasn't been all that much in news. So last news came out on October the 1st. But aside from that though, they did submit this recently. So it was a 8K on October the 18th. So I want to go over that and why essentially I'm kind of calling BS on this. But while I'm actually on here, this is a good transition because, as I mentioned in the beginning, when should individuals buy? And I like to follow management for the most part, right? Because what management likes to lose money? As it stands, management do not have any shares of HCWC because for those of you that remember, under HCMC, they submitted 144s and Form 4s, so they got rid of all their shares. So as this did spin off, they didn't actually participate in that. Every retail investor, I'm sure that is watching this, is at a significant loss, but they didn't lose anything. So it's a crappy scenario, but here is a good reason to buy is when they buy. So when you see Form 4s showing that Chris and whoever else is buying HCWC, then yes, that might be a good opportunity and kind of a signal that we are at a bottom. Until that does happen, it is most likely going to continue to trend down, especially considering they did really focus on quite a lot of those convertible debt instruments. So that is going to be very damaging to the stock price and actually has been yet to be seen on how damaging that can be. So let me know your thoughts on that. But like I said, this 8K, I wanted to kind of talk on this and call BS. So in here, it says on October the 14th, the audit committee of the board of directors of HCWC dismissed 𝗪𝗓𝗡 LLP, and that is effective immediately. And the decision by the audit committee was made primarily to create a new audit relationship for the company following its spinoff from Healthy Choices Wellness or Management Corp, so HCMC. So this, in my opinion, is non-existent right here. This kind of explanation does not make sense whatsoever. If anything, it goes to show that maybe there was some grayness with all of this kind of spin-off, and essentially HCWC did not like that. So it is always a lot easier just to switch accounting firms rather than kind of just addressing the actual issue itself. And this is probably one of the first times that I've seen this type of scenario happen where you don't actually have a corresponding letter coming from the accounting firm. They do kind of address that up here, saying that the company provided this document to them. So the company has requested that 𝗪𝗓𝗡 furnish a letter addressing to the SEC stating whether or not 𝗪𝗓𝗡 agrees with all the statements above. Most likely that is not going to ever come. So I think in general, there's just a lot of sketchiness with this whole kind of scenario, how it played out. And just the fact that they didn't have a new record date, I think that's also going to be very problematic. Potentially behind the scenes, I'm sure there could be some lawsuits that is initiated because of that, and the whole kind of debacle that happened in, I guess, 2023 in April. So it's just a very messed up scenario. And in my opinion, I think that there's going to be a lot more skeletons that come out in the next roughly year that will really shake this market or this company in general. So that's just my viewpoint on all of that. But as it stands, ever since IPO, there's been no transactions whatsoever above $100,000. So big money does not give two craps about this. The only ones paying attention to it is retail and as well shorts. And shorts are pretty much piggybacking and just making a ton of money off of retail. So it's just a very bad scenario. And for those of you that have been watching my channel, I've been stating this for the greater part of a year, that HCMC is just a scam. A lot of people are coming out now saying that it was very visible and blah, blah, blah. Well, go back to my comments on a lot of those older videos. You'll see it was not apparent. A lot of people really did have a lot of high expectations for this whole spinoff, but like I said, just nothing is really amounting to anything. The writing was kind of on the wall based on the S1s, and just the fact that management does not own any of HCWC is one of the biggest red flags ever. But like I said, once they do start owning some shares, that might be a sign for it to kind of move higher. But until that happens, it is just going to continue to trend down. And given the stock performance, once it does hit around that $1 range, they might be going down that whole reverse stock split kind of rabbit hole. So let me know your thoughts. Have you guys been buying HCWC? Have you been selling? What is your overall viewpoint on that? And up until today, I don't believe they actually have a new website for HCWC. So clearly lack of funds or just lack of caringness or whatever. Then like it goes to show that this is just a big fugazi to management, that they're not even putting out a website. So let me know your thoughts on all that. Have you guys been shorting that? Because I did state the only way that you can make money before the whole IPO even kicked off was to short it. So give yourself a shout out if you did do that. But aside from that, two things: take advantage of this promo. It does give you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. This is a must take advantage of deal. And then aside from that, I did launch memberships. So if you like the channel, want to support the growth, definitely consider joining as a member. But with all that, appreciate all of you watching.